All right. I believe we are live. I'm going to give it a minute or so here. If anyone wants to send out a little chat, I'll try to keep my eye on the chat.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, let us know if you can hear us. Got Paul Wozniak here helping me out. He's awesome. It's gonna be a fairly twist-based practice. So this is great to open up the low back. It can be kind of counterintuitive. I've been working on this a lot myself because it seems weird to twist when your back hurts, but it can often free the spine and give it some mobility. So if there's anyone out there listening, maybe send me a quick chat, just say hi. But if not, I think we're going pretty strong here. And Paul has this awesome idea for his block. I forgot a block. So he brought a football.
I was practicing the other day following Kristen's virtual class, and I looked around. I was like, what can I use as a block? And, it's about the same height. So I just grabbed a football. Anything, it's easy to move around. It's pretty sturdy. And it's a little bit of a challenge because it doesn't allow me to completely balance. It just gives me, I still have to pay attention. So it's like, it's an added layer.
Totally. And water bottles work too, if you have a water bottle.
Yep.
So let's just go ahead and start to drop into breath here in like a minute or so, because we're not quite at noon here. I did say live at noon.
Cool. That's the way to go on.
Right?
So I can see if we have audio right here.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have
Woo
audio.
woo.
Okay.
Great.
I'm going to throw on a time lapse.
Heck yeah.
Really quick.
Let's do it all. All the things. We have this beautiful space here at Avogadro's Number. This is their new dance floor.
Nice.
Just put it in so it's all fresh and clean. And I did forget, because there's always tables and chairs. I totally forgot about this amazing backdrop. So my husband had this great idea of he comes to work and they deliver here, and also they're available for takeout. So I'm Kristen. I'll do a couple ohms for you here just to hope a couple, hey friends, Jana. All right, just a couple of ohms here. So whether you want to do child's pose or seated is totally up to you. Take a deeper breath in and then let it out. Then another full inhalation, fill your lungs. All right, friends. So child's pose, if that works best for you. Place your knees wide to the edges of your mat and your toes come together behind you. And then if your forehead doesn't reach the mat, then use some sort of support. Maybe you have a blanket. Maybe you want to get a little bit into your triceps here, palms together. And then you can place your hands in prayer behind your neck. Love it. Football is under his chest. Just give yourself some time here to settle in, get comfortable, and we're going to set up the breath. So Ujjayi Pranayama, very slight restriction in the back of your throat. Breathe in and out of your nose only. And start to work equal part breath. So same length of inhale, same length of exhale. Really make the breath audible. Keep your lips sealed. And then just a few more moments here of this soothing, healing breath. Let's do one more deeper inhalation. Stay for the exhalation. And then keep that rhythm of your breath, that cadence of your breath as we start the movement. Don't lose the breath. Inhale, lift up into tabletop position. Come onto all fours, wrists and elbows under shoulders, knees part hips width. Inhale, cow pose. Drop your belly, look up towards the sky, lift your tailbone. Exhale, round your spine, press into the earth, look in between your thighs. And again, inhale, open up, broaden through your collarbones. Exhale, cat pose. Good. And then a few more here, just back and forth. Link breath and movement. And then also feel free to get a little bit intuitive, organic here. Do your thing. Maybe that's movement with your hips, movement with your shoulders. Now, once you feel a bit more mobile through your spine, we'll head into our first twist of thread the needle. So note that you can do this from your tabletop position, or if you'd like, you could drop back into child pose. So this be a slightly different stretch depending on the shape that you choose to take on. On your inhale, lift your left arm up towards the sky. Big inhale, open up towards your screen. And then exhale, send it through and underneath the right arm. If your head doesn't meet the mat, then use whatever support or blanket you have. And then if you want to get deeper, because we are working twists today, half bind, right arm around your low back. And just remind yourself, especially because we're working with our Facebook Live here, things can look reverse. So just keep your ear open to my cues. Otherwise, if you do the wrong side, no big deal. Just be sure to repeat the same thing on the second side. 2 more cycles of breath. And then nice and easy. Come on out. Take your time to switch sides. Opposite arm reaches and extends as you're ready. Use the exhalation to sweep it through and underneath. A similar amount of time here. I'm a timer, so I like to keep things as even as possible. Find that similar shape to the first side. About 2 more cycles of breath here. And then once you feel fairly even from right to left, come on out. Tabletop position. If there is any other movement that feels natural to your body, let that take place. Looks like the audio is sounding good. I'm really happy about that. All right, we'll move into our first downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Walk your hands forward just a touch. And then lift your hips up and back. Now, I think a great way to check in with the alignment here is to find a plank pose, right? That's the first part of your chaturanga anyway. You might have to rearrange your hands, rearrange your feet. I would say walk your hands forward a touch. There you go. So your hips are more in line with your shoulders. And then don't move your hands, don't move your feet. Exhale, slowly move your hips up and back, downward facing dog. And then feet are hips width apart. So his feet aren't together to touch in this moment. Feet aren't too wide. And find to pedal out your legs. I love pedaling out my legs, especially if you're tight behind your legs and your hamstrings. But also note, once you find a bit of stillness, it's more than fine to have a soft bend in your knees or even a big bend in your knees. I know when my low back and my hamstrings are bothering me, that bend in my knees helps me reach through my arms and find length through my spine. So know that that's really the goal of this posture. It's not how straight your legs are. It's the length of your spine we're going for. And then just a bit externally rotate your shoulders away from your ears. Find a broader upper back. So he's wrapping his triceps in here. 2 more breaths. And on your next exhalation, slowly walk or step yourself to the top of your space into a simple forward fold Uttanasana. And then great if you have a blanket or something to put your hands on. Yeah, I love some deep knee bends here. If you're a fan of the ragdoll arms, opposite hand to opposite elbow. Little bit of movement here with whatever is needed, but then find a moment or two of simple stillness. Check in with the breath. On your next exhalation, hands to the earth if they're not already. And then with a little bit of slight bend in your knees, press into your feet. Inhale, stand yourself all the way up. Reach towards the sky, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, hands to heart space. All right, a couple of grounding breaths here. And I meant to mention, if you want to play your own music, you can also tap into follow me on Spotify. I've got tons of playlists. Sometimes just the quietness is what we need as well. One more deep breath in. Breath out. Now we'll do our half sun salutations to link into breath. Inhale, press into your feet. Reach through your ring fingers. On your breath out, forward fold, Uttanasana. On the inhale, halfway lift, chest forward, thigh bones move back. Exhale, bow and pour over your thighs. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, use your legs, stand up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands to heart space. And again, inhale, reach up. Breath out, fold and bow. Lovely. On your inhalation, halfway lift, shoulder blades pull onto your back, navel draws in, exhale, refold. Let's do 1 more full round. Breath to movement. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands to heart. And again, inhale, reach. When the exhale happens, cast forward, forward, fold. On your inhalation, halfway lift, elongate your spine. Exhale, fold and bow. This time, bend your knees for chair pose. Inhale, Utkatasana. Now we'll take a couple of breaths here, some of the weights in your heels. I like to offer different things to students here. Listen to your low back. So feet are hips width apart or all the way together to touch, whatever works best in your body. Tone your low belly. Palms can be together if this is way too much on the low back, hands to heart center or airplane arms. 1 more inhalation. Stay for the exhale breath. And on the inhale, stand all the way up, reach up, look at your thumbs. And exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Awesome breath, Paul. On the inhale, halfway up. And then exhale, refold. Now we'll take a little twist here before we head into our full sun salutation. So knees can be bent. I always recommend at least bending the left knee so that you can twist to your right first. So left hand down, right arm high. Now open up here, yeah. And the more you can bend the opposite knee, the more you'll find more range of motion through your spine. You got it. Hand can be on whatever support you have. One more breath in. There we go. He opened up so much more when he used that support. Breath out. And then same thing, second side. Find a little bit of length through your spine first. Long spine, and then open and rotate. Now, the more you can bend the opposite knee, the more your pelvis will follow your spine in this shape. 2 more cycles of breath. When that next exhalation happens, release, forward fold. I just suggest one halfway lift here. And then he's going to go through a full vinyasa. So as you step or jump back, I always like to step back that first time. You can drop to your knees if you need a little less, but try not to sink through your upper back. Inhale, pull yourself forward a little bit. Yeah, exhale, halfway down. Elbows should brush your t-shirt. Elbows over your wrist. Breath in, upward facing dog. He's now got the tops of his feet to the mat. His knees have cleared the floor on the exhale, downward facing dog. So chaturanga can be a challenge, and it's always a different day to day. Listen to your body, on or off your knees. We always meet in this downward facing dog posture. One more cycle of breath in. And on the exhale, look forward, walk, step, or jump yourself to the top of your space. When you arrive, inhale, halfway up. Exhale, bow, pour over your thighs. Inhale, rise, use your legs. Exhale, hands to heart space. Good. One more time through this full sun A. Inhale, reach up. Breath out, fold, bow down and into your practice. On your inhalation, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, walk, step, jump back. Start in high plank, shift forward. Exhale, low plank. Breath in, upward facing dog. And on the exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Okay, couple of breaths here. Now we'll do a little warm up for our abdominals. So right leg high on the inhale, lead with your heel. Exhale, knee to nose, pull yourself forward. Let's do 3 of those. Pull it forward. One more time. And then from there, use your core strength, step all the way through into a deep lunge. And once you have your front knee organized over your front heel, lunge twist. So open to the right. So you can see his backside body here is strong, right? He's not sinking through his hips. He's powered back through his heels. He's using his support to root down into that to get more height through the top arm. One more cycle of breath in. And on the exhale, lower your hand down. Drop your back knee to the earth. Half split, straighten the front leg. Okay, it doesn't have to be a completely straight front leg, but you do want to waken up that back side of your leg. A couple more breaths here. And then slowly return to your lunge. Step back, plank pose, chaturanga. Remember your options. He pulls himself forward into the up dog, and he exhales to press hips up and back, down dog. Good. Nicely done. Couple of breaths. Let's do the left side. Inhale, left leg lifts. And then exhale, knee to nose. We did that 3 times before. To the best of your ability, pull yourself forward so shoulders over wrists and your knee comes as close as it can towards your face. On that third one, You'll come all the way through into a lunge. Now that you have your knee over heel alignment, find your twist. Deep bend in the front knee. You can probably go deeper than you think. Power back through your opposite heel. This is tougher than it looks. It takes a lot of strength not to sink into your joints, but to activate the muscles. One more inhalation. And on your exhale, lower your hand to the earth, drop your back knee to the floor, and take your half splits. Remember, it's not locking out the front knee, but do pull your toes back towards your face. A couple more cycles of breath. And this is our nice, easy warm-up to prepare for where we're headed today. Once you feel fairly even from both sides, return to your lunge. Plant your palms, pull your belly in, come on back. You know your options here, right? Chaturanga, up dog, down dog. Couple breaths here as you reach through your arms without leaning on them. Really reach through them. All right, let's take this up a little bit. Inhale, right leg high. Now, either 3 knee to noses or get creative. Go to the outer arm, the inner arm. Have some fun with your practice. Do the things you like and that bring you joy. Once you're in your lunge, back knee stays off the earth this time. Inhale, rise to a high lunge, full crescent, Anjaneyasana. So be sure that feet and legs are about on a thin pair of train tracks here. Okay, they're not too close together so we can create stability. Squeeze your inner thighs. Be sure that front knee isn't pushed too far over your heel. Notice his knee is directly over his front ankle. Let's get into a deeper twist here. Inhale, hands to heart center. Exhale, tilt forward at a diagonal and prayer twist to your right. Left elbow to right thigh. So if this is far too much, you can drop the back knee to the floor. Yeah, it's a great modification because the focus here today is twists. You've got this. Hold on. One more deeper breath in. Stay right here as you breathe out. And if your back knee's on the floor, you can keep it there. Otherwise, inhale, everyone arms overhead, full crescent, Anjaneyasana. And breath out, hands down to the earth for plank pose. So feet together here for your side plank. Left hand down, right arm high. So I do want you to note his backside body here. Notice how his feet are stacked. Now, a feet or toe to heel, that can work, but hip stack. If you need less, drop your bottom knee to the earth. But if you drop your bottom knee to the earth, step your knee forward a little bit. You want your knee directly underneath your hip for full support. And then whether you're on or off your knee, you can have some fun and float the top leg. On your exhale, chaturanga, up dog, down dog. Awesome work. Reset here, take a cycle of breath. On the inhale, left leg lifts. Now, whatever you did before, maybe it was 3 knee to noses, or you do your creative movement, knee to outer arm, inner arm. Move with your breath. Eventually, we'll all meet in that lunge with front knee directly over front heel for full crescent. Inhale, rise, Anjaneyasana. Now, as you really lift that back heel high, root down through the front heel. It won't actually go anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere, but attempt to drag that front heel to the back of your mat. Feel your legs activate. Now we'll get a little deeper in that twist. Inhale, hands to heart. Tilt forward at a diagonal as you exhale, prayer twist to the left, Parivrita Anjaneyasana. Remember, the back knee is there for you if that's something you need. Sometimes thumbs in prayer can get high up towards your armpit, which is not necessarily dangerous at all, but we're trying to focus on the twist today. So see if you can lift your sternum bone, the very center of your chest, up towards your thumbs. That's it. Deep, detoxifying twist here. One more cycle of breath. If you've kept the knee down, the knee can remain down. That's no big deal. Otherwise, press into your front heel. Inhale, rise to crescent. And breath out, hands down. Plank pose, feet together for side plank to your left this time, Vashisthasana. Remember that right knee can drop. That's no problem. Root down through the bottom arm to get height through your hips. You've got it. Hold on. This is a tough arm balance. One more full inhalation. And when the exhale happens, take yourself through your personal vinyasa. On or off your knees. Sometimes we need to give our joints a break and move directly into the shape of downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. So hopefully you're feeling quite warm now. Good. It's kind of cold in this room too, so good to hear that he's feeling nice and warm.
I'm sweating.
All right, we're going to do a little bit of a balance here. So props at the top of your mat, support at the top of your mat if that's something that you like to use. On the inhale, lift your right leg high to the sky. And then exhale, knee to nose and step through to a lunge or whatever creative movement you're choosing. Hands down to your support or the floor. Step into your front foot. Inhale, standing L, which is just a float of the back leg. So notice how he's got a 90-degree bend here in his leg, or 90-degree angle with his legs. If you want to challenge yourself, more standing splits, you walk your hands back to frame your foot. And then you draw your torso and your face down towards that supported leg. One breath in. Exhale, one time Jiva squat. As you pull your knee down, it pulls to the outer calf. Yes, inhale, float your leg. And on the exhale, lightly step back to a lunge. Okay, another balance here. Inhale, crescent first, Anjaneyasana. We've already been here, right? Exhale, airplane arms. Now here's a challenge right here. You can stay. Or warrior 3. Step into the front foot, float the back leg. Now what I often see here is people are lifted up way too high with their chest, which that's fine, but someday you're going for shoulders, hips, heel, all in one line. One more cycle of breath. He's shaking because he's working so hard. Inhale, step back to crescent. Exhale, hands down. Let's just call it down dog here. Couple breaths. Reach through your arms. Okay, let's do the other side. Inhale, the left leg lifts. And I just did the one knee to nose, but do whatever creative work that's up to you so we all meet in the lunge. And then hands walk forward on your support or on the earth. Standing L, float the back leg. And then note that hips are level here. Sometimes that opposite hip pops up, so you can dial your, yeah, that's it. And then for that added challenge, you walk your hands back. One more cycle of breath. Reach your heels apart. Exhale, one time Jiva squat. Come down low to get into that outer hip. Very nice. He's not even using his hands. That's an added challenge. Inhale, leg lifts. Exhale, lightly step back into a lunge. Okay, support yourself how you need so you can rise into crescent first on the breath in, Anjaneyasana. On your exhale, airplane arms. Hover your belly above your front thigh. Note that this is a great challenge, but those of you ready for the balance and did so on the first side, Vira 3. Lift your chest. That's it. Heart forward, gaze forward. Extend through the back leg. Hold on because you can. One more breath in. Breath out. And then with as much control as you can, inhale, step it back. Anjaneyasana. And then exhale, hands down. We're calling it a down dog unless you're feeling super ambitious today and want to add in your vinyasa flow. All right, let's do some warrior work here. Stretch out the legs a bit, and then we'll take a little water break after about the halfway mark. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, knee to nose and step all the way through into your lunge. Once you have your front knee over your front heel, pivot your back heel to the earth. So again, that 45-degree angle. Inhale, warrior two. Come on up, Virabhadrasana 2. So if you can see that his back foot is pivoted again to that 45-degree angle. It's not parallel necessarily to the back edge of your mat. And then squeeze your feet together. So legs are super active here. Extend through your arms. And on the inhale, straighten your front leg all the way. For triangle pose, exhale with the leg straight, reach forward, and then right hand to your shin or perhaps to your support. What's really common here is to swing your torso forward. So if his football were at the edge of his mat, his torso would swing forward. So if you're using support, just note if that happens. Stack your shoulders, bring your back against the imaginary wall behind you. One more cycle of breath in. Breath out. Inhale, warrior two. Rebend the front knee and keep reaching back for reverse warrior. Get a nice stretch here. And then this is a subtle twist here. His front knee won't move at all, but he's going to twist and turn his torso away from the front leg. So he gets that big openness through his chest, and it should feel like a bit of a twist here. You feeling the twist? Yeah. One more inhalation. And on your exhale, come on down. Chaturanga, up dog, down dog. Love it. He's adding in the one-legged chaturangas to kind of take everything up a notch. Reach through your arms. Take a cycle of breath. Nice and simple on the second side. Inhale, left leg lifts. And on your exhale, pull your knee into your nose, step all the way through to a lunge. Be sure you have knee over heel line. Pivot your back foot to that 45-degree angle. Breath in, Vira 2. Come on up, Vira 2. See if you can lift the front hip a touch. So your pelvis levels out. Extend through your pinkies and take your gaze over your front fingertips. Sometimes here, I really notice if I take my gaze a little bit more over my pinky, then I really open up through the cervical spine. One more cycle of breath. Looking great. Arms stay for now. Inhale, straighten the front leg all the way. Keep your legs straight. Exhale, Utthita Trikonasana. Reach, 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 reach. Yes, and then left hand down to your support or your shin. So for a moment, Paul's going to swing his chest forward towards the wall. And that's not what we're looking for. You want to take your chest back and open. And then I think it depends on your neck. If it works to look up, great, look up. If it's better to look more to the side or even down, do what's best for your head and neck. One more full cycle of breath in. Long extended breath out. And on the inhale, he'll rebend for warrior two in reverse. Woo, fun. Reverse, just get a nice stretch here. Reverse your warrior. So that front knee wants to collapse in sometimes. Don't let the front knee collapse in, but at that same moment, twist and turn your torso. So he's doing a half bind here, which really helps open into the twist. One more cycle of breath in, reach back without losing the lunge. And on your exhale, take it on down, chaturanga, up dog, down dog. He did one-legged before, so he's repeating that here to create some equilibrium for his body. Full breath in and out here. All right, a moment in child's pose or grab your sip of water. I know that halfway mark, I think, is really important. And we're not even in a heated room, folks, so that's a great thing about the tapas of yoga. The heat building practice helps a lot with the lips sealed. So keep lips sealed if you can. All right, we're going to do revolved triangle, and that's going to help us with the peak posture. So if you've done flow ones before, that was last season's peak posture. You'll be familiar with it. Have the support at the top of your mat. Some of you may need it. I almost grabbed him a literal brick from outside that I sanitized.
You gotta do what you gotta do. Whatever's around, use it.
Here we go. Right leg lifts. Lead with your heel. And then exhale, come on through to your lunge. Now, once you're there, you might have to step the back foot in a touch. I know I have to. Warrior one, pivot your back heel to the earth. Inhale, rise up. Veer one. Okay, so step the back foot in or broaden your legs if you feel you need more stability. Now, what happens sometimes, ideally we square the hips forward. Chest is forward. Sometimes chest turns towards me. My teacher calls this warrior 1.5 because that's sometimes what our bodies, our hips need, right? So we stay safe through the low back.
It's better than warrior 0.
Right. Bring your hands to your hips. Start to straighten the front leg. Now, if you notice already your back heel's lifted off the mat, you need to step the back foot in a little bit. Take an inhale, lift your chest, and then exhale, cast forward. Yeah, hands to the floor or your support. Now, if you're using support, you can keep it to the inner foot, but if you want to get truly deep into the twist, take the support or your hand to the pinky edge side of your foot. First, find a halfway lift. Inhale, lengthen your spine, chest forward, and then find your revolution. Right arm opens towards the sky. Yeah, I love, he has his hand on his hips, so you can keep that right there. Don't worry about actively squaring the hips. That's not what happens with the hips in a twist. Hips might become a little unleveled. That's okay. Keep the back heel planted though. One more cycle of breath in. And on the exhale, release your hands down. Now we're going to do something a little different on the first side. Pivot, turn to your left, towards me. That's your left. Wide leg forward fold. I'll give you a little break here. So yeah, keep that same foot back. Step that same foot back. Pivot, turn towards me. Wide leg, straddle forward. All right, here you can widen the stride, you can lengthen the stride. I'm going to actually give you about a full minute here. So you can play around, you can bend one leg, you can bend the other leg. Those of you who love your arm balances and inversions, work the crown of your head to the earth and go on into your fun stuff. But for right now, some of you may need the rest. A couple more breaths here. You're at about 20, 30 more seconds to either play around or meet Paul back in this wide leg straddled forward fold. And remember, this is a symmetrical posture, and so is the next one. So we're only doing it on one side. Okay, so hands to your hips or out to a T. Pull in through your belly. Inhale, stand all the way up. You'll have to rearrange your stride here for horse pose. Heels in, toes out. Yeah. So if your knees are buckling in, step your feet closer together. Maybe hands to heart center. Maybe you love your mudras. Lean back a little bit. Shoulders over your hips. It's not that you have to tuck your tailbone here, but I think of it more of my 2 front hip points, lifting those 2 front hip points up. If you want a huge challenge here, you can rise your heels, lift your heels. You don't have to, but you can if you want. Yeah, one at a time or both. If you're already challenged with the breath, then just focus on the breath. One more inhalation. Stay for the exhalation. Good. Inhale, rise back up. And on this side, parallel your feet and fold down the middle. This is just a transition. On your inhale breath, halfway lift. And then exhale, pivot, turn to the top of your mat, chaturanga, up dog, down dog. All right, you guys, awesome work. We have a little bit less work on the second side because we're going to skip the forward fold. We're going to skip the horse. Inhale, left leg up. And pull your knee into your chest, step all the way through to a lunge. You might have to step that back foot in quite a bit. Pivot your back heel to the earth so it meets it. Inhale, warrior one. So here's what I just see a ton of. I see the back heel popped off the floor, which is more crescent. We've already been there, right? So if you need to broaden the stride, you broaden the stride. If you need warrior 1.5, give yourself warrior 1.5. One more cycle of breath as you root down through both feet equally. Try not to favor a leg here as we head into this twist. So hands to hips, straighten the front leg. Maybe even now you step the back foot in a little bit, and that'll give you a deeper twist. Hinge forward, come on down into your fold. Okay, use the support, especially if you did on the first side. You'll need that support again. If it's to the inner big toe, that's fine. The deeper twist will be to the outer edge of your foot. Now find a longer spine like you're doing a halfway lift, heart forward, and then open and turn. And notice how one hip's a little higher. If you can see that, that's what's supposed to happen here. It gives more freedom, range of motion, and mobility through your whole spine. Hand to your hip if you need that support too. It's okay if the front knee is slightly bent. Don't let the breath be labored. One more cycle of breath in. And on your breath out, release. Good. Remember, we're skipping all of that horse and wide leg straddle forward fold. I love it. Chaturanga, up dog, down dog. All right, you guys, couple of breaths here. All right, we're gonna do one more twist here. So on the exhale, look forward, walk, step, or jump to the top of your space. We'll do a couple more twists, but here's just simple chair pose, Utkatasana. Bend your knees, wait until your arms up. Now you have a couple of options here. You can do an open arm twist to the right on the exhale. Just open your arms to a T and turn right. Those of you ready to get deeper, prayer twist, hands to heart center, get deep. Okay, remember we're talking about twists here, so don't worry about knees being level. One knee possibly will pop out. Don't try to force your knees into perfect side-by-side alignment. The pelvis follows the spine. Just keep the spine long. Take one more deep breath in. Stay for the breath out. Keep your knees bent and your hips this low. Breath in, Utkatasana, chair pose. Arms reach up to center. And then same thing on the exhale, either your open arm twist or full prayer twist. Repeat what you did before. Notice how you can probably see one knee is forward of the other. Let that happen. Not that you want to force them into place, but let things naturally occur. Take two more breaths here. To the best of your ability, hips stay lower than your shoulders. And then for now, keep your hips low. Inhale, Utkatasana. Let's do some airplane arms here. Exhale, reach back. And on the inhale, stand all the way up, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart space. Yeah, he's clearing some things out here. I like to offer a supported back bend if that feels good. You can take your hands to your low back and just let things open up, press your hips forward. Nice. And then a nice deep forward fold on the exhalation. Take your time here. Lots of time here. There's no need to rush. Here's our peak posture today. Possibly you'll need some support. Your brick, your block, your football. Okay. Now remember earlier we were in standing splits in warrior 3. So we're not standing splits, standing L. So standing L or warrior 3, we want that same shape with the legs. Transfer the weight into your left foot, hover the right leg. Okay. And then support under the right arm, the opposite arm. Revolved half moon. So he's going to open towards the screen. Okay. This is a tough one, especially if you take your gaze towards the screen or towards away from you. And if you even can look up towards the sky, maybe you hover the bottom hand. Huge challenge there. Maybe bottom hand to heart center. That's my biggest challenge lately. A little bit of shake is more than common. Means you're working hard. One more breath in. And on the breath out, release your hand. Feet to the floor. Pedal out your legs. Squats. Movement. Whatever's feeling great for you. All right. It's more challenging than it looks. It really is.
It looks pretty challenging.
Let's do the other side. Weight into the opposite foot, lift the opposite leg. Now, right, opposite hand to support. So you're twisting away from your lifted leg here. So even if you're going opposite than him, that's fine. But whatever leg is lifted, you're twisted away from him. If the gaze is down to support your balance, fine. If you can float the bottom hand, great. If you can take your gaze away from the floor, bigger challenge. Do your best to breathe. Extend both legs straight to the best of your ability. One more cycle, breath in. Keep the leg lifted. Exhale, hand down. Feet to the floor. Find your release, a little bit of shimmy. And then as we start to calm the practice down, I want to offer crow pose, Bakasana, if you know it. You'll plant your palms. These are chaturanga arms. Look forward, lean forward, more forward, look forward. Don't look back, look forward. Lift your heels towards your groins. And then those of you who have more experience with this practice, use an exhale, shoot your feet back. On the exhale, shoot your feet back, chaturanga. You can do it. Even if you jump a little bit back, it's better than not trying at all, right? Good, hands further apart. All right, you guys. Here's the nice part, or at least my favorite part. Half pigeon pose. Inhale, lift the right leg high. And exhale, right knee to the floor behind your right wrist. So he's bringing his knee towards his football, towards the right edge of his mat, towards his right wrist. Now, if this doesn't work for you, you can come onto your back and do reclined figure 4. That's a great one. And notice how he has his hands around his shin. That's how you get a little deeper. But if you take it behind your hamstrings, it'll lessen the sensation. So you just have to figure out what works best in your body. And he likes his half pigeon, so he's coming back into it. And some time here to surrender, maybe forehead to your support or on stacked fists, or you stay lifted. That's a whole different stretch for the front of the psoas. Nice calming breaths here as we start to turn inward. We're going to take about 30 more seconds here. I'm being sure to time this posture because the body often wants to call you out, which is fine. If there's pain, if there's extreme discomfort, go ahead and come on out, or at least hopefully you come onto your back. One more cycle of breath. And then if you do need a few more moments, you stay. Otherwise, you can have fun with your release. Maybe you do movement with the top leg. Return the circulation through your body. Well, that's always fun, wild thing. All right, you guys, same thing, second side. Pigeon on your left. Now, what commonly happens here is people bring their knee to where it was before. It's just your body's trying to match things. But his knee is now to the outer left edge behind his left wrist. And then he's settling in. And just notice that one side is different than the other. It's a different knee, it's a different hip. That's the reason. We're not necessarily symmetrical beings. Where can you soften here? A bit in your upper back, a bit in your shoulders, your jaw. All right, you guys, just a couple more breaths. I'm just trying to time you so that you're even from right to left. Now, if your body's calling you out, his body is clearly calling him out. But if you need a few more cycles of breath there, do what you need to do. All right. And then if you're on your back already, stay on your back. Otherwise, come on to it. To prepare yourself for a couple of breaths in bridge pose, Bandhasana. So important to get the alignment right. If you need the support, if you have it for underneath your back, great. Otherwise, fingertips are pretty close to your heels. It's just a general measurement. Doesn't work perfectly in everyone's body, but it sets them up nice. Now, if you want, you could interlace hands underneath you and create a shelf for your heart, and then lift your chin away from your chest. Hold on just a couple more breaths here. Take one more deeper inhalation. Lift your hips as high as they can go today. And when the exhale takes place, slowly return your spine to the mat. And you can stay here in neutral. I'm a big fan of constructive rest or fallen bridge, feet wide, knees together. I feel like this spreads the sacrum area, frees it up. You could certainly do butterfly, but I like this better. A few more moments here. All right, friends, we've done quite a few twists today. So you can twist or not, but I just like it nice and simple. Legs are bent to about 90 degrees. And then you'll bump your hips a little bit to the left, right. So your legs go left first. Be sure they go left first. Drop your legs to your personal left and then look to your right. Yeah, there you go. And bump your bottom hip more towards the wall. There you go. So hips are stacked. No, you don't want your knees to come down too far. Okay, you don't want them to come up too far either. I mean, towards your football. You don't want the knees sliding down towards the edge of your mat. You don't want your knees coming up towards your armpit. You want femur bones perpendicular to your spine. Couple more breaths here. I always love ending with a twist. Clear everything out, clear the internal organs, and reset the spine and the entire body. And so we're working twist today, so a couple more breaths. On your next inhalation, knees come up. And now, as you prepare to change sides, you have to bump your hips to the other direction. This is what helps stack your hips. And then let your legs go to your personal right as you look to your left shoulder. Yes, you want your shoulders rooted, but you don't want to jam them down. If one shoulder is mildly lifted, just let it be lifted, but it just helps the spine twist safely. We're taking about the same amount of time here, so breathe deeply into the twist. Wringing everything out. Maybe think of wringing out whatever you no longer need to hold on to. Couple more cycles of breath here. And then nice and easy as you return yourself to center, happy baby's pose. Draw your knees together, or rather apart. Reach in between your legs. It doesn't really matter, in my opinion, if you grab the outer or inner feet, but work your tailbone to the earth. I feel like this is a spinal lengthener. So we're trying to get tailbone down, back of our head down, maybe slight tuck of your chin. Yeah, I love rocking side to side or stretching out one leg at a time. Having some fun here.
Or do what a real happy baby does and put your foot in your mouth.
Oh, he has a son, so his son probably is really good at happy babies.
It was funny because I started doing yoga before I had a son, and I was like, "Will he do it?" And he stuck his foot in his mouth every time.
If babies have that great range of motion that we work for in yoga.
They do.
See, yoga is very intuitive, right? Let's end with clearing out transverse colon, wind removing pose, Pavana Muktasana. Draw your knees together and into your chest. Heels towards your glutes. Wrap your forearms around your shins. If it's available, you clasp elbows. Now, for some of us, we can just do forearms or wrists. Back of your head rests to the earth. Use the exhale to squeeze a little bit more. And then I want to offer an opportunity if there's anything else you want to add into your practice. If there's something that's unique to you, you've probably already gone there, but whatever feels good. But it's time to settle in. And the best way to be still is to find a position of comfort. So maybe that's a cushion under your knees, a couch cushion or something under your head. Maybe you want to cover up with a blanket. But here's a posture. It's an actual posture, so don't take that away from your practice. It's a posture of disengagement. The opposite of what we've been doing all practice. Notice if there's any tension in your jaw, separate your teeth. Let your body rest heavy into the earth as if you're on your favorite beach, trying to make an impression into the sand. And if you have the gift of time, I encourage you to stay for as long as you can. This is the time for your body to rest and heal. Let it be cradled by the earth. Even disengage the breath, breathe naturally. Now, if you do have that gift of time, be in this space. Be in your space. Hopefully, you're exactly where you need to be. For those of you who are ready to exit or need to move forward with your day, awaken your body with some movement here into your hands, feet, your arms, your legs. Maybe some gentle movement with your head side to side. And on your next inhalation, he's already done this full body stretch, but you can stretch your body long, like you're waking up for the very first time today. Maybe you are. And then you turn onto your right side. This is yogic tradition. It's just lore, but it signals facing the rising eastern sun. A place of rebirth, a place of renewal, a place where we can press the restart button, begin all over again. And then take your time, no need to rush, as you make your way up to some sort of comfortable seated position. Whatever works best for you. Face yourself to whatever is your forward position. Maybe it's the screen, maybe it's the top of your mat. And sit up nice and tall. Find a longer spine. Fold your palms together at heart center, Anjali Mudra. And I'll finish with one final Om and a prayer to the world. If you want to observe, observe. If you want to join me, sing along. Empty your lungs all the way. Take a deeper breath in. Fill all regions of your lungs. Loka samasta sukhino bhuvantu. May all beings in all the worlds be happy, free of suffering, and at peace. Namaste, friends. All right, you guys, I encourage you to share this. Thanks again to Paul Wozniak.
Yes, and everybody, I think YogaPod's probably tagged in this. So if you haven't liked YogaPod's page yet, go over to YogaPod's page, click the like button, and please continue to join us. I fell off the yoga wagon for the first couple of weeks, and one night I was just like, okay, I need this. So I pulled up Kristen's flow, and it helped a lot. So we appreciate you being here. It's probably helping you out as well. But please like YogaPod, Fort Collins.
Thanks, guys. Also, we're coming live, and we will probably continue to come live from Avogadro's Number, because it's got this badass backdrop.
Yeah.
And they got this brand new floor. So can't wait till when we're back in the world and we can all dance together. All right. Have a good day, you guys.